Antoine Leblanc was a Frenchman by birth. He came from a well-to-do family in a section now in France, which is going back and forth between Germany and France, Alsace-Lorraine. The name of the actual town was Chateau Salines. But right from the start, and he was born in 1802. Murders take place in 1833. He was 31 years old. So right from the start, he was a troublemaker. He later said that his principal calling in life was to make mischief. And he succeeded very largely. He was trouble in church. He was trouble in the family. And by the time he was 21, he got kicked out. And the family told him to just keep on going. Don't bother to come back. We've had it with you. And by the early 1830s, when he was, 28 years old, say, 29, he was working on the farm of a widow named Schmidt. Probably not the proper German pronunciation, but anyhow, she had a number of daughters, one of whom, Marie, caught Leblanc's eye and apparently was reciprocated, and they pledged themselves to one another, and he went in to ask the widow Schmidt for Marie's hand. She said, I don't know anything about you except you're a good worker. Can you bring me something from your hometown to attest to your character? I'm not going to let Marie go to anyone. Well, he knew he was stuck there. So he devised the idea of going to America. He knew that America was the land of opportunity even then, and that he would make his fortune in the U.S. and then would come back and claim Marie. He would show her, the widow Schmidt, that he had made good and that he was a worthy. A flyer went out, and it somehow reached Samuel Sayre at 217 South Street in Morristown about an experienced farmhand, and he needed one. A black man named Martin, no last name given, had recently run off, and he needed to replace him. So he figured that he'd give it a try. So he goes in and speaks to Foussier and says, "Can you recommend this Leblanc?" And he said, "No, I can't. I don't know him. He just showed up, but he's French, and he says he's worked on farms all his life." So Sayre says, "I'll take a chance." Now, he offers him a job on a conditional basis. We'll try it out. You work for room and board, no wages, and if you work out, maybe we'll make something permanent. The way Leblanc supposedly heard it was he was going to be the manager of the farm at 217 South Street. Leblanc gets hired. So he comes out here and he begins cutting brush and feeding hogs. And he says to himself, this doesn't sound like a manager doing. And he's taking orders from the Sayres. And he's taking orders from others, including the guy that he rooms with down in the basement in English. And he came to the conclusion, this is not what I signed on for. But on the other hand, they look like they got a lot of money and possessions. He noticed that there were a lot of business transactions taking place. Cash was changing hands. He came to the idea, well, if I'm not going to earn a fortune in USA, maybe I'll just steal a fortune.